Hey there guys, welcome back. For today's Commander deck tech, I wanted to cover the brand new Hei Bai, the Forest Guardian. I do apologize, my voice is still out. I got really sick there. The video is coming out like a few days later. This is the best I can do with my voice, so thank you, I'm trying. So Hei Bai is 4 mana, we are a Shrine Commander, we're back. 4/4 Bear Spirit with when Hei Bai enters the battlefield, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a Shrine card. You may put that Shrine onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. In addition, you may pay one of every color, tap for each legendary enchantment you control. You get a 1/1 color spirit token with this token can't be blocked or be blocked by non-spirits. Not bad. It creates an army of tokens which are harder to interact with. You can cheat cards at the top of your library, which is really good because you don't care about the mana cost of them, and we can abuse it because it's an into the battlefield effect. And of course we're in 5 color because our color identity is 5 colors thanks to that ability. So Hei Bai might be the new Shrine Commander for most people. I think one of the real advantages with Hei Bai is you can completely switch it out with the Go commander, the Go-Shin, just 1-to-1. The deck is going to do the same job and perform just as well. And additional now, we have 5 new shrines to pick from, 1 in each color. So obviously the old Shrine Commander is amazing here, plus the tokens that guy makes are actually shrines as well, which does increase our shrine count. Sanctum of All is not a legendary creature, but I feel like it's a lieutenant to the deck because it's so important. 1 of each color at 5 mana. Beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for it and or graveyard for any shrine card, put onto the battlefield, shuffle your library, and then if an ability of another shrine triggers, if you have 6 more shrines, do it in extra time. Pretty much game ending, you can tutor out all the best shrines you need for card advantage, removal, draw, whatever you want, tokens, you have fun. So the shrines are the meat of the deck. So here are the green shrines. The OG Hoden gives you a ton of tokens based on the number of shrines you have at upkeep. The Sanctum, which is from core 21, gives you a ton of mana at the beginning of your main phase combat. A ton of mana, which you can feed into your command or cast more shrines, get greedy. The Go-Shin from the new Kamigawa set, you can pay 1 at the beginning of your end step to dump a ton of counters on target shrine for each shrine you control. Probably itself, because it's a shrine that has trample, it can become a genuine big threat. This guy is not as important to the deck if you're cutting shrines. I would look at him because, you know, shrines aren't usually creatures. And then you've got Koshi's Eye on the brand new Avatar one. This one, when it enters, you can tutor for a ton of X basic lands with X number of shrines. And then every time a shrine enters after that, you can go and get yourself another basic. We do have quite a few basics in the deck, which the deck list is down below. So you can feed your ramp up pretty good. Into blue, the OG Hoden here just draws you a ton of cards on upkeep for shrines. The Sanctum here can make you draw and then ditch 1 card, equal number of shrines at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. You're seeing a theme, they have the same timings. The Go-Shin is the beginning of your end step, you can pay 1 if you do, target player mills X cards equal shrines. And then the brand new Spirit Oasis is on entry, and when another shrine enters, you draw cards. It is pretty good. In white, the OG Hoden here gives you a ton of life, which can be not a bad thing. You can pad your life total out and buy time. I love the Sanctum one here. I think it's underplayed. It's cheap at 1 mana. You can pay 5 to tap target creature, but it costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. In theory, you can get this down to 1 white mana, which you can spam to lock down your opponent's creatures, and they don't get to use them, hopefully, or block. Go-Shin, at the beginning of your end step, you can pay 1 if you do, create a ton of tokens for each shrine you control. I love it. And the Southern Air Temple can dump a ton of counters on creatures where the number of shrines you control, and every time another shrine enters, you get more counters. Into black, the OG Hoden attacks their hand through discard. The Sanctum makes your opponents get drained and you gain X life. The Go-Shin, you can pay the 1 to destroy target creature with toughness less than the number of shrines you control. Not bad, you can start really plinking away at the board. And then the brand new Northern Air Temple, it's another draw based on shrines. Drain, based on shrines. And then lastly, into mono red shrines, the OG Hoden here is a burn to any target, equal number of shrines you have. The Sanctum is you can ditch cards, or lands or shrines, to deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker X number of shrines you control. Not as great, but still it's burn when you need it. The Go-Shin, and step you can pay 1 if you do, you burn equal number of shrines again. And then the brand new Crescent Island Temple is a pleasant surprise because it is on entry, and when another shrine enters, you get Prowess 1/1 Monk tokens, which is another army. So that's 20 monocolor shrines, plus the 5 color Go-Shin Commander and Sanctum of All. So we have 22 actual shrine subtypes here to work with, which is a good chunk of the deck, and it's a great thing. For resetting our commander, it's on into the battlefield effect. So if you can reset commander, blink, flicker, recast it, whatever, you can cheat more shrines off the top of your deck and keep digging through it. So Displace the Kitten is very nuts with its avoidance ability. Every time you cast an on creature, reset your commander and get another shrine. Thassa is at the end of step, exile a creature you control, then return to the battlefield. Plus she's indestructible, she's a shrine, she does kind of fit the deck theme a little bit here. Then all these cards here, Myriate, Essence, Flood, Clan Shift, and Momentary Blink are ways to reset our commander instant speed, as well as bring protection from our commander from deck removal. I love them all. I love the first and the last one because they can come back from the graveyard and get us more value. Supporting themes to the deck, we have a lot of tutors here because we're scumbags. The brand new Aang's Journey, if you just pay the 2 mana, you can get a basic land, but if you kicker it, you can also tutor for a shrine. It is colorless, we gain some life to offer. I love it. Then there's good old Moonblessed Cleric, I always love her. She's 3 mana for a 3/2 that when it enters, you can search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it on top of your library. The fact it's on top of your library is great because with Commander's ETB going off the top of your library till it finds a shrine, you can set it up to be free through your Commander. And that's the same concept with Enlightened Tutor. You search for an artifact or enchantment, put it on top of your library when you tutor it. Obviously, Commander can line this up and you can cheat on the battlefield for free. Sterling Grove offers protection for all your shrines, but when you've had enough of it, you can trade it in to tutor for another enchantment, and it goes on top of your library once again where your Commander can cheat it into play. Weaver of Harmony is hilarious. He does buff your enchantment creatures, which does count for all those shrines we're making, but you can pay 1 green, tap and just copy a enchantment's ability. One of the shrines can activate again. Yena, as beautiful as the artwork is, I love her ability as well. She can choose a target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. She can start duplicating shrines on the board for 2 mana a pop. I love it. Sphere of Safety is very abusive. Your opponent's creatures cannot attack unless they pay X for each creature, where X is the number of enchantments you control. We have a lot of enchantments in this deck thanks to all the shrines. And of course, good old Ghostly Prison to protect us a little bit more. Resurgent Belief is hilarious. You can suspend it up and it has a countdown of 2, but when it's done, you can return all your enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. Wonderful in the mid-late game. It is a must-have. Mithril Coat and Lightning Greaves are protection for a commander when we need it. And then in terms of draw, Argothian Enchantress, God, she needs a reprint. She's like 50 bucks still. She's just a cheap, really effective enchantment draw. She's 2 mana, she's got protection with Shroud. Every time you cast an enchantment, you get to draw a card. It's pretty powerful. Sithis, every time you cast an enchantment, you gain a life and draw a card, but no protection built in. You got the Champion, which with its constellation, every time an enchantment enters the battlefield, you get a counter on her and draw a card. Remember, the Go-Shin's enchantment tokens it makes are enchantment creatures, so that would trigger that. And Eidolon Blossoms is whenever itself or another enchantment enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. I like that it includes itself, so it is replacing itself early on. For removal, I've gone with some janky pseudo board wipes, but I feel they work in the deck. Farewell, I'm going to pick everything but enchantments, because unless your opponent has brought enough enchant removal, our board state is pretty much going to remain untouched and be easily rebuilt through all the abilities of the shrines. But nuking all the artifacts and creatures in the graveyards, I love it. It's very one-sided. Same concept with Extinguish All Hopes. Destroy all non-enchantment creatures, so a couple of random creature shrines will hang around, everything on the board gets blown up, and we can rebuild our board state. With Doomwake Giant, with its constellation and its own self-entering, it puts neg count or a -1 buff on everything on the board that your opponents control, so with enough shrines entering a turn, you can just keep their board state in check, and it's a cheap creature. Then we have things like Aura Shard. Every time creatures enter your board, you can wreck an artifact or enchantment. With all your tokens you're generating through your shrines, you can keep those things in check. Then you've got Assassin's Trophy, Anguish Unmaking Tear, anything we don't want to know about. But we do have good removal through the shrine, so we don't need too much here. And then I've got a Source of Plowshare and Offer You Can't Refuse, just to really kind of gotcha people if I need to. For ramp, then we have Sanctum Weaver, which is a mana dork equal to the number of enchantments we control. It gets out of hand very quick. Birds and Halfling are a must-have. They're cheap mana dorks, and they can produce any color we need for our shrines. The Naturalist makes our enchantments 1 less to cast, and he's a good body at 2/2 with lifelink. The Herald of the Pantheon also makes our enchantments cheaper, and we can gain some life through it. And then I've gone with Nature's Law, Farseek, and Sylvan Scrying as my better land fetching. Nature's Law and Farseek care about the forest subtype, which is important because a lot of our multicolor lands have the forest keyword. And then I've gone Sylvan Scrying because you can get any land, and we do have the Well Tree in here, which can also fix up our mana base. For rocks, again, Chromatic Lantern can fix up our mana base. We are technically a 5-color deck, so it's nice to have. Then Arcane Signet and Soldering just because, and I went with the Warhammer artwork. The only lands I want to mention is the whole of Heliod's Generosity. You can put champs in your graveyard on top of your library. Once again, your commander sees it, it can cheat them into play when he needs to. Command Beacon and Sanctum Eternity are ways to avoid paying command attacks in a way. These are important, I feel. And Relic Tower is a must-have because with the blue shrines, your draw gets a bit nutty. You don't have to discard your hand if you can help it. And that is Hei Bai, the brand new shrine commander. Is it better than Go-Shin? That's up for debate. I think it might be, because on entry, it's digging through your library to find the first shrine, cheat it straight into play. You can also manipulate your library to make any shrine you need to be on there. In thinking that maybe even Sensei's Dividing Top would work in a command like this, where before you cast your command, you can activate it, whatnot. Huge strength of the deck as well, being such an enchantment heavy base deck. If your opponent just doesn't bring enough removal for enchantments, which not most people do, your board state's pretty much untouched and you're going to have a free game. And the fact that your armies are generated through your shrines, and again, if your opponent can't remove them, you're having free run on your opponents. I love too that you have this very powerful ability that can spew out tokens that are harder to deal with for your opponents. Really cool, fun shrine commander. Again, I love that you can totally flip the commander out of the Go-Shin and you're going to have the same effect and the deck just works. So it's kind of two commanders for one deck, no questions asked. Alright, I really enjoyed this one. I'm sorry if my voice isn't great. Thank you for watching, guys, and please consider sub and liking. The channel is doing amazing. The last Avatar commander did really well. Thank you for that support, guys. And thank you to my patrons for your direct support. I cannot thank you enough. And goodbye, everyone. Have a good one. See ya.